percent.
Yes. So the way that it works is you use a ½ pound of hamburger, use your TVP to supplement the other pound of hamburger, you mix all your cilantro, onion, and you make tacos. And your family will love it. Okay? Bacon bits. That's bacon TVP. Okay? So you probably have had bacon bits on a salad maybe? Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're good, aren't they? Yeah. So a proteins are probably, after talking to many people, proteins are probably least found in food storage. Many people have them in freezers or refrigerators. Oh yeah, I've got a lot of meat out there. Or, you know, but do they have it in a freeze-dried form where if they needed to use it in a time that their power went out, they probably don't have a lot of it. I don't think the cannery cans a lot of freeze-dried meats. We made a chicken salad sandwich tonight with freeze-dried chicken. And I'd like you all to taste it and tell me what you think about it. And so she's going to, CJ is going to, not she, CJ is going to get those out for us and help us. We're going to talk about freeze-dried meats for a minute because it's a little different than TVP. TVP is a soy base. Freeze-dried, again, it's that it is chicken that's just been freeze-dried. So you're actually eating chicken. So I'm going to have CJ hand those out to you. Taste those, see how you like them. We've made, what we did with this is it came with the chicken, and it came with celery and onions. And then we just put a little mayonnaise to it and salt and pepper. So open wide and dig in.
That was delicious.
Mm-hmm.
So how many of you would make a chicken salad sandwich if you had freeze-dried chicken and some celery and onion in your pantry or your food storage? That's something that you could feed on a Sunday afternoon for a light little lunch, or you could make it as a snack. It's very delicious. You can put it on, we've had it on several different things. We've had it on like croissants and breads and crackers and chips. So it's been used in many applications, and it's really quite yummy. So how many professional chefs do we have on staff?
2.
2, that's right. Right now we have 2 professional chefs on staff, very talented girls. They come up with all the recipes that we're using at the parties. Makes it very easy on consultants, but it's also easy for the consumer to go online and look at all the different recipes that they've developed. We have over 100 online, and then we are getting a recipe book. Okay. Moving right along, why do I want to reconstitute my freeze-dried foods? You're not going to always want to reconstitute, but if a recipe says reconstitute your pineapple, how would you do that?
Add water.
You add water. Just like our berries over here in our smoothie, what are they doing right now? What did CJ do for us? She's reconstituting those berries, which means they're in a freeze-dried state, very hard and crunchy, and we want them to soften up. And that's why we're letting those berries set for 10 minutes. Okay, so you would do that. Some recipes will call for that, where you'll reconstitute. So I just wanted you to understand that word and know what to do. If you should read it in a recipe book later on, that reconstituting through water. And with the freeze-dried, the chicken salad sandwich, the celery and the onion and the chicken, before we put mayonnaise on it, was all very crunchy. And so we simmered it for about 10 minutes on a low boil. Okay, so that's how we reconstituted that. Okay. Which food will keep longer, strawberries or wheat?
I guess strawberries.
Strawberries? Wheat. You are correct. Ding, 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 ding. She's correct. Wheat will keep, I always tell people wheat will keep forever. I grew up with wheat, seriously. My dad would pay us a nickel to go through, open up the tops of them, go through, find the weevils, clean them out. I mean, wheat will just keep forever. It just will. They found wheat in the tombs of the mummies in in Egypt. It just keeps forever. So you don't have to worry about that ever going bad, I don't think. The nutritional value may drop, but you're good to go with wheat. It's going to last a long time. Strawberries, sorry, you're done in 25 years. Okay. Why is freeze-dried more expensive than dehydrated? We talked about this a little bit earlier. Why do you think it's more expensive?
It's a more complicated process.
Yes, the process is more complicated, more expensive than dehydrated. That's this is one of the great things that is kind of in the evolution of food storage, that when I was a child, everything was dehydrated. That was the way to go. And now it's kind of evolved that more of these foods are freeze-dried, which leaves that nutrient value in them and can be used in so many different ways. If you wanted to eat it right out of the can, you can do it. And you just know that there's not a lot of sugars and additives put back in them. So we love freeze-dried stuff. And why do you think it's important? Why do you think it's important to cook with your food storage? Does anybody have a thought on that?
So you know how to use it?
So you know how to use it. Very good. I'm the girl that the Provident Living leader would come in and say, powdered eggs, $10.99. You need to get them for your food storage. And I was the girl that signed up for them. And guess where they went? They went in my basement. I never used them because I didn't know how. 10 years later, they expired. I threw them out. What's wrong with that picture?
Wasting money.
You're wasting money. Who wants to waste money? Nobody does, right? So the whole point of what I love about Shelf Reliance and why I got involved in this business is because they teach you how to use everything. And they don't just have, a couple of things. They have everything you're going to need to cook with, down to salt and baking soda. They have everything. And so you have everything you need to cook with in your food storage. So I was really excited when I personally met Shelf Reliance and their concept about we eat what we store and we store what we eat. Meaning we're rotating that up into our pantry. We're using that in your everyday stuff. Use the eggs in your cookies. Use the butter powder in cornbread. Use your storage. And so I was very excited to finally meet a company that was going to teach me how to cook with these things, because my whole life has been store, waste, waste. Store, waste, waste. And so this is exciting to me because now, finally, I get to cook with it, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So, okay, so we are going to have cornbread. I mentioned cornbread. The cornbread was made all with Thrive ingredients: salt, baking powder, the butter, everything that was used, except there's vinegar in it. And the vinegar is used to make buttermilk. So you mix the vinegar with a little bit of the powdered milk and a little bit of water, and you kind of let that set. And so I want everybody to taste the cornbread. And this is something that you could use with chili as a side dish to a lot of different things. But it's very yummy, it's very moist, and so a lot of people just really, really like the cornbread. So have a taste of that.
That was excellent.
That can't be food storage.
Are you for real?
This is amazing.
My mother-in-law made the best cornbread I've ever tasted, and this is as good as my mother-in-law's.
Wow, thank
That's
you.
pretty good.
Thank you. Shelf Reliance, yay! A lot of people, so I went to a party one time and the host says, I really don't want to do cornbread because I don't like cornbread. And I said, oh, you got to try the cornbread. It's like to die for. And she's like, all right, if you think it really is that good, I'll try it. So I made her cook it as the hostess, and she's cutting it over there for our guests, and she's serving it up, and she's nibbling on it, and she's like, Lisa, you were right. This is the best cornbread. She goes, all the other cornbreads are so dry, and it's like I have to choke it down. But she says, this rocks. So it was kind of fun.
So tell me what's in the cornbread that's Thrive?
everything except the vinegar. So on your last page of your handout that I gave you, you have some recipes. And so why don't you tell me what I put in the, or actually CJ cooked it, so let's give her the credit. But go ahead, read the ingredients, Jason.
All right. Thrive powdered milk, Thrive water, vinegar, Thrive butter, Thrive eggs, Thrive white sugar, Thrive baking soda, Thrive cornmeal, Thrive white flour, Thrive salt.
So everything came from Thrive except for the water and the vinegar. So isn't that a really great?
That's amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it? I just think it's amazing. And it has amazing taste.
Right?
It doesn't taste like anything powdered or dehydrated.
Right.
So this has got Thrive butter in there.
Yes.
So what's the Thrive butter powder? Tell us about that.
The powdered butter is great in a lot of recipes. However, some recipes, it might be better to just add that stick of butter and go from there. Okay. Okay, so can anybody tell me why we coat the inside of our number 10 cans? Why would that be important to Shelf Reliance to coat the inside of the cans?
So they don't rust.
So they don't rust. So the great thing about Shelf Reliance is they've chosen to double coat their cans on the inside and on the outside, preventing rust and keeping the product on the inside so it doesn't taste like the can. So at the top here you can see that these are raspberries. It does have the premium freeze-dried label across it so you know that this is freeze-dried. In this circle right here has a shot of what you're actually purchasing, which that's raspberries. Down here at the bottom it says how many servings you're going to get in this can, and it happens to be 48. On the back of here is your nutritional facts, which every mother likes to know. What am I feeding my children? So on the back here it has the recipe. It's raspberry pork chops. It tells you how to reconstitute the raspberries for the recipe, and then all the ingredients that you'll need for the recipe. On the bottom of the can has the manufacture date, so you know when it was manufactured, and then you can also put an expiration date, which I do on all my cans. I just take the manufacture date and go 25 years out and write, used by. And so on all my cans, I use the Thrive sheet that you guys have in your customer order form to do that. So I keep that chart downstairs as well as in my pantry to make sure that I'm not wasting and that I get it eaten before the expiration date. So the way that they have designed these are also so that when you fit them into your shelves, you can see that these are raspberries. So it's sideways and not like this. So when they're sitting on your shelf, they will look like this, and you can you can see that very nicely. Can you tell me why people just don't start their food storage at all?
The cost.
The cost. Budget is probably the number one reason why people don't get started on their food storage.
They don't know what to buy.
They don't know what to buy. Do you know how much wheat you're supposed to buy for everybody in your family?
No.
No woman knows that. Okay, so we go, well, I don't know what to buy, so I'm not going to buy anything. Anything else that you can think of? No?
I'm afraid it's going to go bad.
Space. Where to store it.
Where to store it is a big one. A lot of people have a small apartment. They don't know where to put their food. And I know a lot of people that have started putting shelves in their children's bedrooms. Oh, okay, so there are 4 main reasons why people do not start food storage. The number 1 reason is, how do I afford it, the budget. Number 2 is, what do I buy for my family, based on their ages and their gender. And the third one is how to use it. How can I use this and not waste it? And the fourth one is, how do I store it and rotate it? So now I'm going to show you, after Shelf Reliance identified these 4 problems that people were having with getting their food storage, how they solved these problems. And one of the things that they came up with is called the Thrive Queue. How many of you have ever been online to get a Netflix movie?